Good day, I'm Karen Wilson, and this is Table Talk. Today's guest is Shanna Caldwell with Southern Touch Estate Sales. Welcome to the show, Shanna.
Glad to be here. It's exciting.
I know. I'm excited too because we've got all this fun stuff with us. We're going to talk about kind of vintage Christmas, how to decorate with old things.
We are.
Yeah. So I guess talk to me, about, let's begin with how you started thrifting and you've turned this into a career. How did that start?
Well, I started at a young age. I would go to with my mother to yard sales, estate sales, and at first when you're young, you don't want to do that. And then after the years went by, I thought, I kind of like this. And so that's where it started. My love for, I say, rust and dusty stuff is where it started. And this is what it's turned into, an eclectic bunch of, some people call it junk, but it's stuff that I love. And other people have seemed to love it too because it's caught on. It's grown.
And you actually help people, I guess, with estate sales and things like that as well.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
say someone has a loved one that passes away and the house is just full of items that you've got what you want out of it, but it's still full.
Yes.
You kind of help
We
with
come
that.
in and even if you're just transitioning in life, some people are downsizing or they're moving on to assisted living, and we come in and help. We price, stage, and we'll clean, and we go from there and we try to help everybody the best that we can.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that kind of works. You all get a percentage,
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
the person selling the items gets a
They
percentage.
do, yes.
So that's kind of probably, I'd say they're going to make a little bit better than what they do at a
They
yard
would.
sale.
Yes, ma'am, because we advertise. Facebook and any kind of social media is a huge advertising venue right now, and we advertise heavily, and that's where we go from.
Right. So don't take that stuff to the dump
No,
because it's worth something.
I tell
for
everybody,
sure.
I'll say, don't throw anything away. Even what you think is junk, someone else is going to want. So don't throw anything away.
Well, and I will say a lot of times with Christmas stuff, we've all been guilty of, oh, that's, worn looking,
Oh, yeah.
or we're going to get rid of that.
Yes.
But that's actually what we're going to talk about today is all those items that you think, maybe the polish is worn off a little bit, but it's still got a lot.
It's still got life left in
Yes,
it.
yes. So we've seen, I guess, a revitalization in all the new or the old things becoming new again. What do you think has brought that about?
I think it's the nostalgia of selling or remembering your grandparents having it or your great aunt, and it brings that feeling back of when everyone you loved was alive, is what I say.
Yeah.
So that's why everybody wants the blow molds, or just they'll see something and they'll say, my grandmother had that. And so I'll tell everybody, I'm selling nostalgia, not items.
Yes,
So-
and it's fun if we've still got those
Yes,
things,
ma'am.
but a lot of times we don't.
Yeah.
We parted ways with it, but yes, if you had that, say, old lunchbox or whatever it was you carried to school, when you get older, you kind of wish you still had it.
It brings back that memory
Yes.
of simpler times is what it really does.
Yes. So let's talk about some of the things you've brought here and how we can kind of revitalize some things that are old
Okay.
and make it look kind of new again.
Right.
Let's talk about this bowl that you've brought,
Okay.
and what was its original purpose?
This is a wood dough bowl, and originally it was used, they would, when they were making their bread, they would, of course, mix it in here, and they would set this in a warm spot for it to rise.
Okay.
So that's what it was
okay.
initially used for. Of course, most people don't use them for that anymore. But,
Right. And I guess most of them were carved by those. They didn't just go to the
No.
general store and buy their dough bowl.
They were done
did
by
they?
hand, yes. So, and this is a newer one. I do have my grandmother's actually, but I didn't bring it today. But The newer ones are done by machine, of course. There's some that's done by hand, but most of the newer ones are done by machines. Yes.
Yes, but you can imagine probably the men taking a log or and carving out,
And the time that was put into that.
Yes.
And the one I have that was my granny's, her father made that. So it's probably, I'm going to say 150 years old at least.
Right.
So,
So if somebody's got an antique dough bowl or a reproduction,
Right.
and you don't want to like have to pack up your whole house to decorate
No.
for Christmas, so how could you incorporate this with festive items?
well, you could use fresh greenery, but today we've used some fake. And of course, I would just use that. And I brought some vintage, if I don't drop them.
So you've got some great stuff here.
I do.
Let's talk about these right here. These
are
beautiful.
great. These are actually local pieces. They actually still have the tag on them from Locks 5 and Dime. And I'm sure a lot of the older folks out there will remember Locks 5 and Dime being downtown McMinnville and just the memories of going there when you were young or shopping with your families. But
Yeah.
these are just picks and they're glass and they would stick them in their trees. But these would be great as bow fillers just to lay in
Those
your
are
bow.
gorgeous. I've never seen
I had never
anything like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you've got some ornaments, and they're not perfect.
They're not perfect. These are mercury glass ornaments. These are, and these right here were actually given to me from a dear friend, Monty Wanamaker, gave me these years ago. These were actually made in West Germany, but you could just put them in, and of course, this is the little vintage knee huggers that are very popular right now, and
Yeah, the whole
The little
elf on
elf.
the shelf brought back
Yes.
the love of the elves and
this
things
has
like
been
that.
a great item. I've sold several
And
of
that's
these.
a typical thing. I'll show the audience
Okay.
a little bit that a lot of times you think that it's almost like you think, oh, that's just garbage,
yeah.
because they're not perfect, but those are the very things that you don't want the reproduction
Right.
of. It's so cool to have
Yes.
the original. I'll let you put that where you
You
think
can just wherever you want to put them, and there's nothing. I mean, nothing can be done wrong. You can rearrange. You can just. This is simple. Just you can add a candle, as many balls as you want, some more greenery, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And it's going to be.
And you've got the little flameless
I've got a little
candle.
flameless candle because of the greenery. You wouldn't want to put a real one,
right.
and just something simple. And you could put this on your coffee table or dining room table or entryway.
Yeah. What a great tablescape for your Christmas festivities
Yes.
going on.
Uh-huh.
Fun. And then you've got kind of like a fun thing here with the tobacco sticks. Tell us about, you see old and reproductions
Yes.
of these.
This one was actually made from tobacco sticks from Irving College. And so they repurposed them and made these lanterns, and you could style these through every season and holiday. I've got a little red bird and the flameless candle, or even I use this year round. So at
Yeah,
Easter I
change it
put a little
out.
rabbit, and it's easy. You don't have to move it in and out. So
I've seen these piled up under people's barns
Oh,
and
yeah.
things like that. And
Yes.
I'd say many have ended up on a wood pile.
yes,
but,
in a brush pile or whatever, but they reuse these, so that's kind of neat.
Well, you had some of the things here, the ornaments and stuff. Talk to us about like the shiny bright ornaments. That's something you and I probably
Yes.
saw a lot of when we were kids.
I actually
You've got
brought
a
some,
great-
yes.
Yeah, we'll
You can move 'em.
hold those. We don't want to dump
It's
your
all right.
little gnome there, but this is something right now that's pretty economical as far as purchasing
Yes.
most of the time.
Yes, and they're very popular. They were made in the USA, and I think that's another draw. They were made here in America, which most items that you buy now are not. Of course, we know that, and they come in fun colors. These are more of the pinks, and I've got a few red in there, but the red and the silver and the blues are very popular. I've sold a lot of those this season.
And then if you've got the original box,
That's
even better.
Yes,
isn't it?
very much so. Yes.
Yes. And, people that are big collectors in these, I even see they have so many, they'll just stack
They
up
s-
the boxes
yes.
and make a display
It's
out
gorgeous.
of that.
The boxes are even pretty, just the writing and the detail, because you don't see that anymore.
Right.
You don't see it.
Now, of course, this isn't the original ones are great. I did see something to where you can take newer ornaments if they're glass and maybe take alcohol or something and kind of make them look a little more vintage.
And of course, everything is being repurposed. You can still buy the Shiny Brights. Of course, they're not made in the USA. They're not from the 50s and 60s. These are some that are made now, but these are the original.
Yes.
I even have some that have the price tag on them. I think this set would have probably been about 40 cents or 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, well, and you're going to pay a little bit more than
yes.
that for them. And I'm sure the condition makes a difference
It does,
as well.
yes.
Right. Something that I love that came, I guess, from my dad giving me it's not even old, it was just a blow mold that he had, but I love the blow molds, and you all have you've got some great examples of those here. Oh, the Santa, he's
We have the big
awesome.
Santa, yes. And these were originally made in the 40s is when they first came out with the blow molds, but they really didn't catch on to the 50s and 60s and even the early 80s. I remember having one very similar to this, but they've come back really hot and heavy, and people are really into the outdoor blow molds, but most people don't put them outdoors anymore. You'll see them inside by their fireplace.
Yeah, you would, because he's older.
He is older.
They can be kind of pricey too.
They can be very pricey, yes.
So you would want to keep that inside and
Yes.
kind of out of the, and then of course you've got
The little
cute
tabletop.
I remember, seems like him, maybe from our generation,
Right,
I don't know,
yes.
but I've seen him before, and what a beautiful, he's in great condition.
He's in good. He doesn't have the light, but the lights can be. You can buy them from Walmart or Amazon.
Yes.
Just any little bulb will go in.
All right, and then all the fun little kitchen stuff too. That's a big thing.
It is.
Everybody's about every room now is kind of decorated
Oh,
for
yes.
Christmas. Something that I'm kind of like salivating over here is this beautiful ceramic Christmas tree. Tell us about the resurgence of those.
I think it, like we talked about earlier, it's the nostalgia of it. Your grandmother had this, and so you want one because when grandmother died years ago, everybody, they either threw it away, took it to a thrift store, but people are really, they're wanting these again. They're easy to, this can sit on a tabletop or in your entryway, and
so
the lights
if
are
you
beautiful.
can't fit a real apartment settings
Yes.
and stuff like that, if you can't get a big tree up, what a great way to
Yes.
make your area festive.
And they're even, this is an older one, but there is a local store in Warren County where you can go paint your own and make it.
And make it an
heirloom piece for your kids.
Right,
yes.
right. And then this is a great example of a small one.
It's a
right
small
there.
one, yes. And I've had that one for years. It's one of my favorite. I like the little small because I can put it in kitchen cabinets or display it easily. Yes.
Yeah. And also, I guess, Shanna, tell us the story about this. I would have never thought to have decorated with a red suitcase and an old thermos.
Well, it's Christmas and the holidays, and red, of course, is a big part. But this is a local piece. I have people call me and say, "Hey, we don't even want this stuff. Would you like to come look? We don't want to have a sale. We'll sell it to you or whatever." And I actually bought this. It's a local piece, and I kind of left the tag on it, and it's Greyhound Bus, McMinnville, Tennessee, and I just added some greenery, and it's kind of festive looking.
Yes, yes, beautiful, beautiful. So, what a great way to, I guess, incorporate things that we have laying around the house.
Yes.
Pull out some of grandma's or great-grandma's, and sure you find things in these estate sales that go way back. What's your number one prize that you have, I guess, come across at a estate sale that you probably wanted to keep?
The blow molds are I found a whole set, a nativity set in Smithville one time. And of course it sold very quickly because, that's.
And having all the pieces nativity set is pretty unusual.
It's rare, yes, very rare.
Yeah, but yes, so Shanna, you're, one to come in, I guess, and help people if they've got all of these items. Shanna was great about bringing all of this beautiful stuff in, and you have a Facebook page.
I do.
And then you sell a lot of things on Marketplace
I do.
as well.
I was telling her earlier, I mail a lot of stuff. Shipping, I mailed probably 10 packages yesterday to California. So it doesn't just stop here. People are shopping around the world, and they like what we have, and I mail it to them.
Yeah. So this kind of, you see that term kitschy a lot.
Yes.
What does that mean? Which all of this kind of might qualify as
It would.
kitschy. Okay, what does that mean?
Well, kitschy to me is a certain era, probably the 30s, 40s, and 50s. It's the colors, the vibrant colors, just the vintage, like the little Santa mug. He's kitschy to me. And those are very popular right now, very popular. I was telling her I actually found him at Goodwill yesterday.
Oh, wow. So
Yes.
that's a recent thrift.
Yes, and it's actually made in Japan. It was a good find. You rarely find them anymore. Used to, years ago, I could find them because people weren't collecting.
Right,
And
right.
I probably have 30 or 40 of them in my personal collection, but I found them through the years just out thrifting, and they're getting very hard to find, of
Well,
course.
I noticed when I look at Instagram pages and things like that, that's what makes it visually so appealing is when someone collects and they have this whole collection together.
Yes, it looks very good.
It does.
Yes.
Because a lot of us have like bits and pieces. So if we've got one of this and one of that, would you think like grouping things according to color? Would that be a pretty tablescape?
I think so, yes, very much so. But you could incorporate some of other colors. This pink is very popular right now. That's kitschy to me, the pinks and the blues. You wouldn't think Christmas is pink, but that's very popular right now.
Yeah. And of course, everybody loves the silver aluminum trees.
Yes.
I'm sure that is kind of like a holy grail find as
It
well.
is. It very much so. Very much so. In fact, I had someone call me this morning and said, "Do you have one?" I said, "No, I don't have one, but I'll be looking, But yeah, they're very popular. They've made a huge comeback too.
And I would think that you probably are constantly on the lookout. This is your day job.
This
So
is my
you're-
day job. Yes, this is a real job.
So you're kind of going out and going to flea markets and
Yes.
estate sales yourself.
I do.
and-
When I'm not busy myself, I'm constant. I call it sourcing, and I source through the day. And usually at night, I'm listing stuff.
Right, right. Well, that's a fun way. It sounds like.
It
Now,
is
I will
fun.
say
It is
fun,
fun.
but a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of
too.
hard work. Yes,
I'm sure when it comes into organizing an estate sale, there's a lot of hard work.
it's a lot
that
of hard
goes
work
into that.
because sometimes you have to push your emotions to the side and go in and be there for the family too, because that's the number one goal is helping the family.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. Well, I know as we get older, our houses get fuller and fuller and fuller of things that
Yes.
we have and love and that our grandparents collected and have given to us. So it is hard to part
It is
ways.
hard, and it's hard to get rid of just because you have a memory attached to it sometimes, especially with older people. They can't hardly discern what they need to keep and what they don't. So when you go in, it's sometimes it's stuff that's been there for 50, 60, 70 years of stuff.
Well, I know a lot of times I think a good place to start is with your family.
Oh, yes.
And while you're still, able to ask them, what means something to you? Why don't
Right.
you go ahead and pick out some things that's special to you?
That is a great idea because sometimes it gets lost amongst the rubble. I mean, I've even had family come and say, if you find this, we've been looking for it since Mom passed, please put it back. And sometimes we'll find it, and then sometimes it's just, it's gone. I don't know if, the mother may have given it or the family may have given it to somebody already, but that does
Right.
happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. And then I've even heard of some people will go through their house and go ahead and put like a child's name, a
They do.
grandchild's name under things to let them know that that's what they have
And we
picked
have
out
found
for them.
we've found that, yes, where
Uh-huh.
they'll label and say, I want my granddaughter to have this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's kind of special.
It is.
Yes.
It is. And it means something that person wanted you to have that.
Very much so, yes.
So that helps the family and it helps all of us that love old things too to help preserve them.
Very much so, yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Shanna. We love all these beautiful things. I'm going to be sad that you have to take it with you. But if you've got some things laying around your house that you don't know what to do with, start just playing with it and putting together. What a fun way to celebrate the holidays.
It is, yes.
It is. And it makes your home so much more special than just going and buying things off the shelf.
it personalizes it.
It does.
Makes it your own. Yes.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for being our guest.
Thank
We're going
you.
to have Shanna come back and talk to us about other old things.
I'm
'cause
excited.
That's a great topic. Everybody loves that, and
Yes.
we're all getting more nostalgic about stuff. So we hope you enjoyed the show. Come back again next week for more Table Talk.